Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The News.
Welcome to another edition of Junk in the News. I am once again your host, Jack Kiesling. That is Peanut, number one, Shums. Tonight in the news, some really exciting stuff. Our first story of the evening. A group of football players from Roosevelt High School, known as the Rough Riders, went to aid someone after a storm ripped apart their yard. So, the man in question has been paralyzed since 1989. On Monday, a massive storm ripped through Des Moines, Iowa, and knocked down trees, limbs all over the place, and tore his fence apart. It's a mess. Well, he's paralyzed. There's not really a lot he can do about it. Okay? So his caretakers, who also happen to be his sisters, reached out to a friend of theirs and like, hey, can we borrow a chainsaw? And he's like, you're going to need more than a chainsaw, but I got something for you. So he called a contact he had at the Roosevelt High School football team, the Rough Riders, and said, we're going to need some able-bodied boys to come over and help clean this up. 30 of the football players came over to this man's yard and in about 3 hours' time, got rid of all the down trees and limbs, all the debris, everything, fixed the fence, the whole deal, cleaned it up for him, no problem. What I think is very interesting about this story, and you can see in the image on your screen, is that right now, the majority of the media is telling us that our country is divided. We see and we feel the effects of that all around us. But when you do some looking at things like this that are going on, you will see that these young men that went over to help this man, clean up his yard, were of all different backgrounds and skin colors and racial identities, in it together to help another human being. When asked about why they were doing what they were doing, the football players said, that's just what people do for each other. And I think that is so critical. None of them said anything about race or religion or orientation or anything about that. They just said, that's what people do for each other. Now, for a long time on this show, I've been advocating being kind to one another, treating each other fairly, being nice, as a way of life. Well, these young men are living that example, and I'm very proud of them. So hats off to you, my new friends at Roosevelt High School football team. On to the next. What I'm about to show you is very exciting. A woman who goes by the name KD French was trapped in her home during quarantine. She was faced with the temptation of the refrigerator on a daily basis. This is a temptation I am all too familiar with. You can't see it because I'm on camera and I angled the camera in a specific way, but I am getting fatter by the day. The refrigerator is very tempting for me. Now, KD French decided to do something positive with her time, and she recorded the quarantine snack anthem, and I'm very proud to present it to you.
Really?
You ain't even hungry.
Somebody stop me.
She's at the fridge again.
I'm at the fridge again.
She's at the fridge
Oh,
again.
keep calling my name.
She's at the fridge again.
I'm at the fridge again.
She's at the fridge again.
I'm gonna need a little help from you.
Please come get
I think
her.
I'm doing a little too much.
She doing too
I'm at the
much.
fridge again.
She's at the fridge again.
Oh, I'm at the fridge again.
She's at the fridge
Tell
again.
them again, y'all. Fridge.
She's at the fridge again.
Oh, I'm at the fridge again.
She's at the fridge
I think it's
again.
time for my snack,
She's at the
y'all.
fridge
But it's only been
again.
2 minutes since the last visit.
She's at the fridge
Oh,
again.
I'm gonna need your help.
Please come get
I
her.
need you right now.
She needs your
at the
help.
fridge again.
She's at the fridge
Lord,
again.
have mercy, the fridge again.
She's at the fridge
Wait a
again.
minute. What about the chicken?
Sit down.
Mashed potatoes.
Sit down.
Them collard greens.
Sit down.
How about them
Oh,
eggs?
go sit down.
Oh, some fruit.
Sit down.
Watermelon.
Sit down.
Ice cream.
Sit down.
Oh,
Oh,
whoa.
go sit down.
How about a pickle?
Sit down.
Popsicle.
Sit down.
Or a slice of cheese.
down.
Oh,
Oh, go
please.
sit down.
I need some juice.
Sit down.
Kool-Aid.
Sit down.
Minute Maid.
Sit down.
Gatorade.
Oh, go sit down.
I want to eat.
You don't need it.
I need to eat.
You don't need
I
it.
want to eat.
You don't need it.
Right now.
You don't need
Give
it.
me food.
You don't need it.
Give me snacks.
You don't need
I
it.
won't take it back.
You don't need it.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need
With
it.
my
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Please come get
Come
her.
and see about me.
She doing too
At the
much.
fridge again.
She's at the fridge again. She's at the fridge again.
Oh, Lord.
Bruh,
Come
sit
on,
down.
Lord.
Sorry about the delay there, folks. I broke it. So Katie French created this amazingly enjoyable song, the snack anthem, and when asked about it, she said, and I quote, "At least making this song kept me from the fridge for about an hour." I sympathize with that feeling. But let me tell you what, this video is really funny. It's really good. The lyrics, everything, all the pieces fitting together, and all the voices she put into it to make the full gospel experience out of the song. Clearly, Miss Katie French, very talented, and we need to see more of her creative talents in the future. This gentleman that you see on your screen was faced with a problem. The problem was he loved robotics, but he didn't know how to do anything with it, so he turned to YouTube. Over the course of several years and many YouTube videos, he taught himself the art of robotics and all of the science that goes with it. He learned so much and developed so many cool inventions that he was even honored at the White House Science Fair under former President Obama. While in his science fair touring days, he met a young girl with a prosthetic limb who told him that it cost $80,000. He himself described the limb as looking somewhat archaic, and he was blown away that this woman had to pay so much for a piece of technology that was just not up to the requirements. So, using his newfound knowledge of robotics, he set out to do something to solve that problem. During his research, he discovered that currently there are 40 million amputees in the world. 40 million. And approximately only 5% of those 40 million amputees have access to affordable prosthetic devices. That is not good. Not at all. All right? So, this gentleman, whose name is Easton LaChapelle, decided to fix that problem. He founded his own company, which is called Unlimited Tomorrow, where he uses 3D printers and other technology to make custom-fit prosthetics that are affordable for the everyday person. These
limited, like limb.
Oh my lord. I'm certain that is not what he intended when he named his business.
Well, then he's a fool.
So these prosthetics are really cool. They're customized to match your skin tone. They're customized to match the size requirements so that it looks like it is part of your body. It's not too big, not too small. The correct shape and all of the functionality pieces involved. Really cool stuff. Hopefully, as his company progresses and continues to grow, we can ratchet that 5% access to prosthetics up to 100% in the long term. So because of the way he builds them and the technology involved, he can make them completely customized to the individual, but costing significantly less than traditional accessible prosthetics. What that means for the everyday amputee is a better product for less money. So, Easton, thank you for the efforts that you are putting in to solve a very serious problem in our world. And it's also really cool he gets to use his passion for robotics to do that. It's really cool. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Junk in the News.
The Fists of Arkan is the debut novel by author Jack Kiesling. Action, adventure, and personal challenges are the focal point of this immersive book set against a backdrop of war. Deep character development and wide perspectives explore social issues relevant to the real world. Dive in and discover the answer to the age-old question faced by leaders many. What kind of royal will you be? This is a paid advertisement for Jack Kiesling Books and the Fist of Arkan.